welcome back to the third part of our conference. It is with a great honor to introduce our main speaker, Mr. George Papanastasiou, Minister of Energy, Commerce and Industry. Παρακαλώ.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here with you, and thank you, organizers, for inviting me. So I would like to have this conversation with you. Either I do a presentation and I leave, or we have an interactive session. I prefer the second, so you can ask me a few questions, what is bothering you, what is in your head, so we can try to resolve the issue, if it's an issue. If it's not an issue, then I will just ask Savas to resolve it later. Or if we feel that we need other support, other services, we will ask the other services to provide the solution. So it's up to you how you decide we progress. What I suggest is I do a little bit of the presentation very quickly, so that I give some ground for you to think of any questions that you may have. If anybody has any questions on energy, as you know, our ministry looks after energy, commerce and industry, and we are considered as the ministry within the government that can provide also the space for investments. Yesterday I was in a conversation with a similar esteemed audience from different parts of the world, that they were looking into PPPs, public-private partnerships, and we had a very good dialogue, simply because what we are considering seriously in Cyprus, in the government, is to provide solutions to infrastructure projects that we do it through PPP. And as you can understand, PPP is the way forward for modern economies, and this is what we will try to implement here in Cyprus as well, for all infrastructure projects, including energy, and not only. So if I may just start with a quick presentation. As you know, what we are trying is to have Cyprus as the country of preference for the UK investors. And in the past, there was a question, and I recall Savas, when we first met in the UK, when we presented Cyprus again, one of the questions that we all had is what's happening with Brexit. And despite Brexit, what we see now is that things have progressed well between the bilateral relations of the two countries, and indeed it helped in a different way in order for the UK investors to look at Cyprus as a potential gateway into Europe, and this is what happened after Brexit. Of course, there are other countries closer to the UK, but Cyprus is one of those as well, despite the distance being the longest distance from the UK. I mean, from the rest of the member states, EU member states. Where is Cyprus? I believe that you know well where is Cyprus. It's a very small country, 9,251 square kilometers. The geographic location, you know where it is on the very east of the Eastern Mediterranean. It's close with a population of slightly less than 1 million. We have, that is the number, the latest that we have. It's an EU member state since 2004, and it's part of the Eurozone in 2008, with the currency being Euro. Native language is Greek, as you know, and English is very widely spoken, and we drive on the right side of the road as well. Savas? Okay. And okay, you see that we have 40 plus EU trade agreements, which is either directly between Cyprus and the bilateral agreements, but most of them, they are through the EU arrangement. And 68 double tax treaties, which it's including the UK. Possibly you can see some of the brands that you recognize. These are companies that they trusted Cyprus for many years, and this is not an exhaustive slide. We have many other slides which they have many more brands. Why Cyprus then? It's a positive economic outlook. This is what it is. I mean, you see the upgradings that Cyprus received recently. We have access to educated talents, and we have people that they speak the English language very well, and they are well educated workforce. It's strategically located between 3 continents. It's Africa, Asia, Middle East, and Europe and Africa. Modern legal and regulatory framework. We have the common law, as you know, which is very close to English law, which this makes a lot of difference, I mean, for some of you, and not only. It's a Eurozone member state, an EU member state. We want to believe that it's a reliable partner. Cyprus can be a reliable partner for any investor, and it has an attractive tax environment as well for both the income tax, I mean, for the individuals and also for corporates. It's low cost of doing business, with the exception of one subject, which is energy, is a bit on the high side. So when it comes to manufacturing, you understand it's a challenge for us, and this is what our ministry is working towards, reducing the cost of energy, and specifically with the electrification, the cost of electricity. And the high quality of life is not the least. You understand that many investors, they are looking of having some, to have a good balance between private and professional life, and this, I believe, Cyprus provides that. In terms of corporate tax, I'm not going to go through. I will just leave the slide for you to go through it. On the left-hand side, we have the corporate taxation, and on the right-hand side, I have the income tax for the individuals. Just on the corporate taxation, you can see that 12.5% corporate tax is one of the most attractive in the European Union. The no withholding taxes, the national interest deduction, the so-called NID on investment in Cypriot companies, and the increased tax deductions on research and development expenditures. For the locals, I mean, for the individuals, this is what is happening as we speak today. Although the last one, I believe we will be increasing it in the next few weeks. Now, in terms of what it provides, I mean, you see some gears here, and the low cost doing business, you can see it, you can read it yourself in the gears. You need all the 3 gears in order for everything to be rolling towards the right direction. And I will just go through the headings: low cost doing business, strong business ecosystem. You can see that we have a wide network of financial and professional services in excess of close to 4,000 registered accountants, 700 plus accounting firms. Some of them are well known. I mean, even the big fours are also here in Cyprus, the big 4. 2,700 plus registered lawyers and 160 plus law firms. And a wide range of service offices and co-working services as well. And the attractive transparent regime, which is something which Cyprus needed to do a bit of more work in the recent years, and this is what this government is doing as we speak. Now, in terms of the sectors, this is what it is. You realize that we have quite some real estate, 10.4%. which is the yellow piece. 10.4 is the financial and insurance activities. We have 11.8, which is wholesale and retail trade, repair of vehicles, motorcycles, and general automotive. You can see that other activities, which it includes the rest, other than those that we make reference here. Education is quite on the high side, 5.4. 6.6, we have the accommodation and food service activities. 7.1, professional, scientific, and technical activities. Transportation, 5.1. So you see, I mean, the split, how the pie is being split between the different sectors. What you can see missing is generally manufacturing, and the reason that manufacturing is not is not attractive in Cyprus is because of the high cost of energy. And hopefully, when we get to the right numbers of energy, we will see some manufacturing being, let's say, invested. I mean, companies investing in manufacturing in Cyprus as well. By the way, if you have any question whilst I'm presenting the slides, just raise your hand so that we can take the question straight on the slide. Okay, here you can see our strategy. It's number one, we have a new immigration policy for international businesses, and the digital nomad visa is also, and the blue card is something which we provide. You see that the family reunification is also one of the strong, let's say, values that we provide in Cyprus, employment of family members. The legal framework, as I explained to you, facilitating many investments. The common law is fully inclusive in terms of accommodating investments. Business facilitation unit, which I'm going to explain later on, is something that it's a service that we provide in the ministry, providing support to the potential investors. And the tax incentives, I think we covered it, and the reduced naturalization period as well for non-EU nationals. Now, in terms of the business facilitation unit, I'm not going to go through all this. I will just explain that this is a unit that we invented in the Ministry of Energy, Commerce and Industry, initially in order to support investments in renewables. However, because it's a very successful model that we implemented with a group of people that they have been trained accordingly in order to provide support to investors, we started opening it for other investments as well. And that was where we started. Now the government has gone through certain new legislation, which is a center of expertise. We call it Strategic Investments Center, which we are going to relocate many different stakeholders from within the government, from within the ministries, that they can provide support to potential investors. And one of the things that we have a lot of difficulty, and this is the feedback that we receive from investors, is bureaucracy. Bureaucracy is something that we try to kill, and the long time that is needed for a permit or a license to be issued. And indeed, with this center that we are creating, the Strategic Investment Center, and this is now a law, it includes investors from abroad, but also investors, local investors as well. So they can knock on the door of this unit, of this center, and there will be a project manager taking over the project. So we are talking about ownership here. It's very important that the project has an owner from within the government, from within the ministries, in order to take the investor through all the process and provide the solutions to the investor without the investor being in the difficult situation that they have been in the past, of going themselves to every ministry, knocking on their door in order to secure the permit or the license in order to go ahead with the investment. So this is something that will be announced officially by President Christodoulidis, I believe, next month. The law is there. The people that they will be moving into this unit, they have been selected. They will go through a proper training, and if needed, and if the expertise is not there from the project manager, is not there, and you cannot find the person within the public sector, we are going to employ this project manager from the private sector. So you can understand we are going to have a blend in this center of knowledge that comes from the private sector as well, together with the regulation and the licenses and permitting that is needed from the public sector. So we are going to have a kind of expertise that they will be under this, let's say, strategic investments center. In terms of what are the things the business facilitation unit is making, you can see which where the eligible, and still are, I believe, some of them, there are some add-ons on the eligible companies. This is the list of the companies that they are eligible to go to the business facilitation unit. For the center, which I provided some information just now, everybody can knock on their door above a certain level of investment. So the small investments, we are trying to create a different center. This is for strategic investments above a certain level. I do not recall what is based on the law, what is the investment that the level of the investment, so that they can go to this center, and I can find out for you if necessary. Okay, the main responsibilities of the business facilitation unit is what you can see in the list here. So it's facilitating the entire investment value chain. It's the guidance regarding necessary permits for the activation, expansion, or establishment of the business in Cyprus, facilitation of the licensing permits. There is a point of contact for the investor. The provision of information on available funding opportunities, so they can link you to potential financiers. They have all the information that from other, let's say, interests that it was expressed in the business facilitation unit, and they can link the two investors because their judgment is that they can go together in one investment, so it's a kind of a joint venture. The registration of the companies, you may be aware that in our ministry we have the company's registrar's office, so we can provide immediate solutions for those interested. And the one-stop shop, there is a person allocated to the project, to the investment, and then this person is the point of contact throughout until the investment is delivered. Now, in terms of what we can think of if we are interested to be an investor in Cyprus, this is what is currently the most attractive sectors for Cyprus, and there are good reasons for each one of those sectors why Cyprus provides an opportunity for the investor in these sectors. One of the things which we will be doing in the next week, I think, yes, it is on the 7th of April. The President Christodoulidis is going to the US, and there will be 3 ministers joining in an effort to promote Cyprus as a potential investment place for these sectors here. What we will try hard is the renewable energy. So I'm participating on this delegation. Shipping, so the Deputy Minister of Shipping, she will be with us as well, and ICT, so the Deputy Minister of Innovation and Technology will be with us. We're going to meet with companies, we're going to present Cyprus to ship owners and to management companies in the US, but also investors. Then we are going to Houston as well to meet with the well-known names of energy because of the exploration that is happening now in our exclusive economic zone. And then San Francisco in order to speak about data centers. Cyprus is sitting in the middle of three continents, as we explained. There are many telecommunication cables that they are being laid between Asia via Cyprus to Europe and Africa. And we believe that this is a good location in order to have data centers investing in Cyprus. This is what it is. It's the wing of an aircraft. I'm not asking you to leave, neither I am leaving. It's just to give you an idea that Cyprus is not far. It's just a few hours of flight. You are in Cyprus, which is the best place to invest. Thank you very much. And I will be taking your questions now. I hope they are difficult ones, because I want to take some with me in order to, as a challenge, to take for us, as a feedback, in order to, let's say, to have something in order for us to work. And next time I can come with more prepared with solutions rather than with the questions from your side. So, I'm listening. Savas, you don't have any questions? Huh?
Maybe we have someone over here.
Let me tell you, because I received one question during the break, just to give you a little bit of background on, is it possible to have the slide the one slide on our strategy for energy, so that people they can pick up where they can fit in, if it's, because some people you have been asking me about the storage of renewable, electricity that's coming from renewables. One of the things that we are in Cyprus, we are lacking a lot is to manage into the mix of our electricity to get renewables. Although we have a lot of production of renewables, electricity coming from renewables, you understand we didn't manage to get enough into the mix in order to drop the price of electricity. And we are still relying a lot on conventional power generation, which is coming from fossil fuels, which they are very expensive, first of all, as a burning product in order to produce electricity, but also the emissions are on the high side, which they are taken by the electricity consumers. So if other than my photo, if we can have also something on energy.
Your Excellency.
Yes.
Over here, on the left. My name is Gbcy, and I have been following your presentations not only today but in various other occasions, and thank you very much for being here today. My question is not related to the energy sector. It's according to your last picture before this one. Don't you think, sir, that as Cyprus, we need a national airline in order to promote whatever we have discussed just now? Thank you very much.
You are talking about the connectivity now, huh? The connectivity is indeed a problem, and it's something that we see, and the Minister of Transport is working on it. Now you are aware that Cyprus, the Republic of Cyprus, will be will be taking over the EU presidency on the 1st of January 2026. So one of the issues we are trying to resolve is the connectivity with Brussels. But as you know, airlines, what they do today, they are looking at the traffic volumes. And if something is not viable, you understand that the airlines, they are very reluctant to get into this kind of business, because for the airlines it's a business, unless they are subsidized. And of course you understand, by subsidizing a route, it's not easy, especially if you are an EU member state, because it is considered as a state aid. And then you have all the rest of the airlines complaining. But what we are trying to do now is we are trying to give incentives at the airports in order to promote the idea of connectivity. And indeed, it is something which is very important for investors, Although technology today gives quite a lot of solutions if the connectivity is not there. But I can understand the question, and you are very right that indeed you need good connectivity for a place to be considered as a destination for investments, or to be considered as a hub for certain investments. You are very right.
You mentioned the engagement of the private sector, your position with the facilitation of some activity you do. What I suggest is that you will have a transparency of your procedure, so you have the backing of the private sector to avoid any bad feedback about priorities and things like that.
Yes. In order for a partnership to work, you need the trust between the partners. And indeed, your question, I mean, it implies trust and transparency. So the two things in order that we discussed yesterday for PPPs is number one is trust, the other one it was transparency, and certainly which is something that I put on the table as well, coming from the private sector myself, is flexibility, which is very important on the side of the public sector, because what we see today, we may have lots of people willing to engage into PPPs from both sides, especially the private sector. They are very active on exploring on potential PPPs. On the other side, though, we have people that they are not trained enough in order to understand the added value, what is in it for the public sector if you engage with someone that is financially sound, is prepared to put the money with a certain return, which needs to be accepted. And at the same time, you need to provide flexibility. Flexibility means that if you see a project in the constraints of what you have as a background being in the public sector for so many years, I'm talking about an employee or a decision maker on the public sector side, you understand that it will be a mission impossible to deliver, to reach the deliverable or the target. So today we have a workshop which we are taking many decision makers from the public sector and to be educated on how they need to behave in quotation marks, or to act within the processes and procedures that we have in the public sector. This is the flexibility that we want to see from those people in order with the target, with the destination to deliver the project. Because if the constraints do not have any flexibility and you keep yourself within the box, let me speak more the accurate language, within the box the solutions are not there anymore. You need to think outside the box, still within the law, but outside the box. New ideas, listen to the private sector. This is what we keep telling the public officers. Listen to their sensitivities. They share the risk, because usually the public officers, what they are trying is to discharge the risk on the other side, on the private side. And I will tell you an example that I was involved in recently. We go out into a tender for something which relates to a PPP, and within the terms of the tender, it was unlimited liability. Is there anybody in this room that will accept as an investor unlimited liability on a project which has a certain investment size and it's providing a certain revenue, etc.? Will you accept in India unlimited liability? Never. Huh? This needs, unfortunately for us all here, makes a lot of sense. For the public sector, doesn't make a lot of sense, because risk mitigation is happening in many different ways, but one is sharing the risk. And we need to adjust ourselves. When we enter into such projects, unlimited liability being discharged from the private side is a mission impossible. Nobody will accept it. Just an example, and we have many other examples like this. This is what we are trying to change in this government. We need to get the public sector to be more flexible, to listen to the other side. Partnership is a matter of relationship, and we need to promote the relationships, not just imposing things on the other side. Otherwise, the investors, they will simply go to another country. This is what we are trying to educate the people. And you know, I mean, especially in multinationals, there are many candidate countries that they are trying to pick up investments. And as we said, Cyprus needs to be one of their choice. I mean, should be in the list to decide if indeed Cyprus is a place to invest. So, in terms of energy, this is what we are doing. You see the exclusive economic zone. We recently secured an agreement with Egypt. From 2 discoveries, we are getting to Egypt in order to liquefy the product and get it to the international markets. The first gas it will be from Kronos, which you can see in Block 6. It's the quickest discovery that will be connected to Zohr. Zohr is in the exclusive economic zone of Egypt, and the reason that is very quick solution is providing a quick solution is because of the existing infrastructure, and you see the red lines. These are the subsea pipelines which they connect the different parts of discoveries in Egypt with Egypt. So this is what is happening. As you may be aware, the biggest discoveries in the Eastern Mediterranean they are sitting in the Israeli exclusive economic zone, which is the Leviathan and the Tamar. In the exclusive economic zone of Cyprus, this is what we currently have. It's not the huge quantities; they are good quantities, medium size. And as we speak, we are drilling in Electra, which is target in Block 5. And we are hoping that there will be something which will add on these volumes that we see here substantially. This is what we are aiming for, and this is what the companies they are operating there they see in the geology. But unless you drill, you cannot be certain.
Thank you for your presence, Minister. It's a great honor for you to be with us. I would like to ask, I don't know if you can answer this question. Do the latest developments concerning the Libyan National Oil Company, are they as important to our exclusive economic zone as some people say? And does that secure what you have just outlined there as a natural economic, exclusive economic zone?
You are talking about geopolitical now? Geopolitically, if they add value to the...
Are they as important as people say?
Okay. I mean, it's not an easy question to answer. But you know, when you have an operator in your exclusive economic zone that is supported by powerful countries, you understand that it makes a difference. I mean, myself coming from the private sector, and some of you may be aware that I worked with BP 27 years, the reality, if you sit on the other side, is somehow different. The reality, when it comes to the project, the companies, they will be assessing on the basis what's in it for them. And what's in it for them is what are the revenues they can generate from this project. They will check on their IRRs, and this is how they take the final investment decisions. So they will go through a process, but at the same time, they will be doing a risk assessment. The risk assessment, it will include technical risk, it will include financial risk, and of course, it includes geopolitical risk. If you are next to a threat, geopolitical threat, you understand that this is part of the assessment that the companies they do. If they don't go through their red lines of the geopolitical risk, they will just drop the project. But having said that, most, and you can check globally, most of the discoveries, I mean in terms of energy, fossil fuels, drillings, etc., most of them they sit in disputed areas. This is something which you can check globally. You can speak about Nigeria, you can speak about many different countries that the companies, if they have behind them some political support, especially from major companies or major countries, you understand that it makes a difference when they are assessing their risk. It's for them, I mean, that the risk is not as high as if it was a small company. Okay, this is our strategy in one slide. I don't know if we have many, they can read this. Possibly we do. On the left-hand side, we have the LNG import. Here we have a floating supply regasification unit. So liquid is entering, gas is going via a system that we have in Cyprus, which is the public company of natural gas called DEFA. It's providing the conventional power generation with natural gas. And also we have a lot of solar and wind. And over here you see the Gbcy interconnector, which will be connecting Cyprus with the rest of Europe in a unified electricity market. It's a very niche market in terms of natural gas consumption. And I know that you may be thinking why with all these discoveries we are not taking some product into Cyprus instead of importing liquefied gas from any other other suppliers, regasifying and pushing it through the system. The reason is because it's a very niche market. We cannot consume more than 0.6 BCM, billion cubic meters per annum, which is a very small quantity in order for any investor to invest into the huge investments that they are required in order to get product from our discoveries into Cyprus. It's a very small market. That's why we are looking into this solution. The Vasiliko LNG terminal is under construction. We had a lot of difficulties with the Chinese consortium here that they left it unfinished. So we are in the process of completing the terminal, and by the end of this year, beginning of next year, it will be up and running. What is happening on the right-hand side is the big investments that they are required in order to commercialize the product that's coming from the exclusive economic zone, and that's why I explained the arrow which is taking from the exclusive economic zone the gas to Egypt, because it makes more sense because of the existing infrastructure which is there, and it has the capacity to accommodate the natural gas coming out from the exclusive economic zone of Cyprus. Unless we do that, in order to do that in Cyprus instead of sending the product to Egypt, the investment is on the very high side, and we need some quantities, additional quantities in our exclusive economic zone. Hopefully, if we get a good drilling with Electra, possibly this can be justified, and then this will be resolved with product that is coming from the exclusive economic zone. Important is the solar and wind. You can see some batteries. The TSO is the transmission system operator, and then you see the electricity consumers. The most important part, and that's why it's on the top of the slide, is the consumer. This is what we are trying to do, to reduce electricity for these people, simply because it makes sense for the household, it makes sense for the business, but also for the economy of the island. I will show this, and then I will take one more question. And do we have time, first of all? No. We don't have time. That's okay. But I will show only this then, without any questions. So.
The longest and deepest underwater electrical interconnection in the world becomes a reality. The new subsidiary of the group, the Gbcy Interconnector, will interconnect for the first time Cyprus and Israel with Europe through Greece, changing the energy map in the Eastern Mediterranean. The project has already started, and in the coming years, the Gbcy Interconnector will offer Cyprus high energy security, as well as green and cheaper electricity supply. The new energy corridor will boost exports of green energy produced in Greece, contributing to the energy transition of Europe and the Middle East. The project is co-funded by the European Union.
Yes, this is a project of 1.9 billion euro. You realize that it's quite of some distance, connecting three countries. In fact, it's Cyprus, Israel, and Europe. And the subsidy that the project promoter has received from the European Commission is close to 700 million euro. You understand, is the highest subsidy that any project has received, which is a project of common interest. And I will leave it there because Savas is keep nodding and he will have a problem with his head. Thank you very much.
Minister Papanastasiou, thank you for your valuable insights. Would you please join us again on stage, also Savas Kyriakidis? This is exciting. The Great Britain-Cyprus Business Association is honored to present a special award to Minister Papanastasiou for his continued support and participation in our events. This is the second time in 2 years that he has joined us as a main speaker, with the first being in November 2023 in London. Our next speaker, Mr. Savas Savidis, Senior Partner and Head of Paphos Office at Michael Kyprianou & Associates LLC. Please join us on stage, presenting guidelines about any business collaboration between Cyprus and the UK.
I was so glad to hear the Minister, and I grabbed some notes, Mr. Minister, that I'm going to change my speech today, actually not to be a speech, but I will try to be some kinds of discussions between ourselves. And I'm so happy hearing about the business facilitation unit, the fact that it's been recognized by the ministries, by the bureaucracy that actually this unit has, and that soon we're going to have the announcements by the President himself about the amendments on the law and how this can become more flexible and more friendly used. I would like to take the opportunity here, something else that the Minister had mentioned today, which I believe it's very, very important to listen to the private sector, one of the things that he said. And the other important thing, he says that to adjust ourselves. Even though today my intentions was indeed to present a speech about Cyprus, UK, and how things can be progressed, I have to confess that the Minister has changed my plans, and I would really like Mr. Minister today to pass some messages to the Council of Ministers, to the President himself, and these notes are coming from the private sector. It's coming from me as a professional, as a lawyer, professional lawyer, as a senior partner in one of the largest law firms in Cyprus, which messages are coming over to me from almost 100 of employees within the company. The Cyprus legal system is heavily, we know all, based in English, common law, and it's one of the most important things of our legal system. Even the Republic of Cyprus constitution was partly drafted with a British influence. We all know our legal systems in several areas, even the courts themselves, often refer to UK case law as a persuasive source, especially in areas like corporate law, contract law, and administrative law. In UK, court judgments are recognized in Cyprus because of these connections of Cyprus and UK. And we all know that Cyprus, as the Minister has mentioned, has a double taxation treaty ensuring business and individuals are not taxed twice on the same sources. Going through, however, putting in practice all the problems that we are facing, practicing law, and in extent assisting investors over in Cyprus, and talking about business law here. Through the years, Mr. Minister, we faced some problems, and we have raised our concerns as a private sector, and we really try very hard in order to find solutions, which I'm sure that many of professionals in this room, and also many investors or business people that they are in this room, they are facing these issues. I will start by the UK nationals moving to Cyprus after Brexit, and talking about after January 1st, 2021. We all know that after January 2021, no longer benefits the UK citizens from the EU free movement rules and must apply for a residence permit. The processing durations for Category F at the moment, as well known category, has become notably prolonged. I have to say with sadness that at the moment there is applications that are pending almost for 4-5 years and still needs to be examined. As a result of this, and concentrate over on UK citizens moving over in Cyprus, you can understand the frustrations that this is causing by waiting for such a long time in order for their applications to be examined. Moving on, where again concentrate over on UK citizens that they bought property in Cyprus, we can see the long delays in the issue of the title deeds, affecting their ability to sell or to transfer the ownership over. Sadly, also, we can see some of the UK buyers that they fell victims from poor contract terms, leading in legal disputes over land ownership. Moving on, we all face as well the long-standing issue of the loans in Swiss francs, and the fact that huge financial losses have been caused over to UK citizens that moved over in Cyprus due to the currency fluctuations. Recently, we have faced another one more problem with the cancellations of the trap buyer's application. has great, significant, and very bad negative impact over on the UK citizens, which they rely on this process, which unfortunately, during the year 2023, the Supreme Court of Cyprus had ruled a law unconstitutional, had ruled the law as unconstitutional, and after challenges by the banks and the developers, the whole process has been cancelled. At the moment, all these people, all these buyers, waiting for their title deeds, waiting for answers, waiting for solutions, waiting a way to get out from these situations, which at the end of the day, it makes their life difficult, and in a lot of situations, all their life has collapsed. Currently, also, one of the issues that we are facing is the fact that all the UK citizens, and especially after the Brexit, they need a Council of Ministers approval in order to own a property. Surprisingly enough, in order to get such an approval, they have to wait up to 8 to 10 months to get just a simple approval to own a property. Why? Bureaucracy. Why we need this approval is the system. Systems that actually existed when UK was member of the EU. At that time, UK citizens, they didn't need the Council of Ministers applications. After the Brexit, a huge number of applications get into the system, but still fighting with the same personnel, with the same process, and nothing has changed. My intentions here is not only to, Mr. Minister, sorry that I'm referring all the times to you, just to complain, but I believe that there is solutions around it. And the best solutions that we can look into is to turn our eyes in the UK systems and how does that work. I honestly believe that there is answers there. I honestly believe that we can learn from the UK systems and how does this operate and how does give solutions. At the end of the day, the Cyprus legal systems, the Cyprus law are based in the UK, we are based in common law, and we can learn a lot from them. Let me just give some examples to investigate here to see where indeed we can find solutions. In the UK, all property transactions must be registered with the Land Register Office, ensuring immediate legal ownership transfer once the sale is completed. There is only a single digital database who keeps all the records, and the buyers receive their title deeds within the same day. How can improve Cyprus on this? Firstly, implement a digital land registry. Streamline the process so all buyers can get title deeds upon full payment. Make property registrations mandatory and introduce strict deadlines for title deeds transfers. 6 months is the maximum that needed in the UK for issuing and transfer of title deeds. Faster court dispute resolution systems. UK model. The UK has a small claims court for minor property disputes, resolving cases with months. Alternative dispute resolutions, the well-known ADR, is commonly used, helping to settle cases without long legal battles. UK courts have strict deadlines for case hearings and judgments. How Cyprus can improve? Establish fast-track dispute courts. Expand mediations in ADR. limit court cases timelines, ensure property cases, for example, can be resolved within 2 years maximum, instead of lasting 10 years as seen in Cyprus at the moment. Simplified immigrations and residency rules. UK model, UK visa and residence systems are clear, digital and time-bound with predictable approval times. From the time that they lodge in the applications, they know the time that they will get a reply back. How Cyprus can improve? Set a clear residence applications deadlines. Ensure UK citizens at least receive residence permits within 3 months, reducing uncertainty. Automatic residence for property owners. Offer a guaranteed residence permit. Again, it's a process that's used a lot in the UK, and we can benefit a lot from it. I can go on and on for a long time, but I can see that you're sitting next to me and you're telling me in a very polite way to get out from here, and I will do it. I honestly say, Mr. Minister, that you will pass these messages over to the government, which we are representing. I know very well that you are a very active minister. It happens to follow you in a lot of seminars that we're doing together as well. And I'm sure that my messages today will be heard, because I'm sure that everyone here will agree with me that we need improvements on the system. Thank you.
Your point is taken, Savas, thank you. And now, the final panel discussion featuring Mr. Anatoly Kinkov, CEO at Tria Finance, Mr. Giovannis Kouzalis, Director at Tailor-Made Solutions, and Mr. Stelios Anastasiadis, Business Development Manager at QHS 24 Luxury Real Estate. This session will be moderated by Mrs. Agathi Nicolaou, founder at A. Nicolaou and Associates LLC. Mrs. Xanthi won't be joining us. Thank you.
Hello everyone, again, and welcome to this panel at which we will discuss ways of collaboration between Cyprus, UK and other jurisdictions. For those who don't know me, my name is Agathi Nicolaou, lawyer from Larnaca, and I will be the moderator of this panel. I would like to introduce to you our panelists. We have Mr. Anatoly Konkin. Anatoly is a professional specializing in product development within the banking and financial sectors, and with over a decade experience has held key positions within the White Schools Group and Tria Markets. Joining us today also is Giovannis Kouzalis. Giovannis is with legal background, and apologies gentlemen, I will be short in introducing you. Giovannis has focused his knowledge and abilities into providing bespoke and tailor-made services to investors and clients who want the personal touch. Finally, we have Stelios Anastasiadis, partner at QHS 24, which is the real estate family business with more than 13 years of experience. Since 1992, they have been providing high-quality professional services in the construction and real estate sector. Gentlemen, welcome. I would like to address a general question to all of you, which is, if you had to pitch Cyprus, the UK and other jurisdictions as the ultimate financial, real estate and services collaboration hub in just one sentence, what would that sentence be?
Hello to everybody. Thank you for the invitation. With one sentence, I can say multinational markets. Multinational markets, which is a blend of tax regimes, it's world-class financial services, and of course, great real estate landscape. This is create us a collaboration hub, which is very, very interesting for the business growth.
Thank you, Stelios. Anatoly?
Hello, everyone. In one sentence, I think it's more about combination of a lot of factors. So we being from finance, we are first of all rely on stable jurisdictions, but at the same time in line with new technologies. So the most important I see is that this combination with modern technologies plus stable jurisdiction in line with ICT innovations.
Thank you, Anatoly.
It's working. Hi everybody, and thank you very much. I think what I was saying, I will use some words, not a whole sentence. Location, English law and tax system, incentives by the government, and perfect timing. When I say perfect timing, so I exaggerate now, I'm talking about the lack of Cyprus, and this time we have a geopolitical situation that is very favorable, and I think the government and the current government is taking advantage of that.
Moving forward, Giovanni, I would like to address a question to you in terms of what are the existing partnerships between Cyprus and other jurisdictions into collaboration and business?
Okay. What I would say is that what we are seeing today is an example of what we're going through. Not only between Cyprus and the UK or UK and Cyprus, but other jurisdictions. We have people here from different jurisdictions. What I can say from my side is that with tailor-made solutions, we have a team of professionals that we are in collaboration with some of them for about 35 years. And we have lawyers, we have accountants, tax advisors, VAT specialists, renewable energy specialists. We have people in Malta, in Cyprus, in Greece, in UK, in Jordan, and in other destinations. So this is a vivid example of how people can be operating in this kind of circumstances. There is a great opportunity, there are great incentives, as we discussed, by the government, and I believe in people, in the companies. We have huge established companies here from the UK, from Cyprus, from other destinations, and it's an example of how these companies and how these professionals can work together in a very professional environment.
Thank you, Giovanni. Anatoly, what do you believe is the single most important factor for fostering strong collaboration between Cyprus and other jurisdictions in your field?
In our area, we are trying to foster a bridge between traditional financial assets and digital ones. And I think in this innovative area, the most important factor is collaboration between regulators and industry, using association, using working group to understand what are the market demands and what are the position of legal, of government, of regulator, how to push things forward with these new innovative things, especially in finance.
Thank you. Stelios, what are some successful case studies or initiatives in your professional field? You are coming originally from Greece and you are here in Cyprus, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, of course. First of all, our company operates over 30 years. We have very, very strong experience in construction, but at the same time in the real estate. So let's take a case study. For example, now as a trend, it's the service apartments. The service apartments, for example, in Greece now, it's one of the most attractive projects with already construction. So before 10 years, 11 years, I would say, we have the possibility to convert offices to service apartments in north of Greece, and we check at this time a lot of people, they want this product and this demand. After 10 years, 11 years, now this product is on the market, and we see with very happy results. They want more, the people want more of this product. This product is units which is constructed by developers, and they have units included electricity, water, 5G, internet, and people from around the world, digital nomads, students which will coming, they can stay. So as an investor which is coming in Greece, we can invest on this type of projects, and of course we will take a 6%, 7% guarantee from the developers, and of course at the same time the product, the market wants this product and they want it a lot.
If I may say something, I think this is a fantastic opportunity. Actually, this panel here proves what we are trying to discuss. We have Anatoly here. We have Stelios, that he's from Greece. We have you from the Republic of Cyprus. We have me from the Republic of Paralimni. It's a beautiful opportunity. Thank you. Republic of Paralimni. I think it's a vivid example, gentlemen and my dear lady, that it works. Through Savas, we have managed to bring people along from so many jurisdictions, so many different environments and professionals, and this is an example of what we're trying to achieve.
I totally agree with you, Giovannis. I would like to address another question that just popped out of my head right now, if you allow me, gentlemen.
You are the boss.
That applies to each one of you on your different sectors of experience and business, anyway. So we heard some not so good things about Cyprus and Cyprus government, and I would like you personally to tell me a few things about your personal opinion and experience, especially you, Giovanni, as the legal advisor here, and provide services to foreigners that want to invest here in Cyprus and live also here in Cyprus. Anatoly, for you as a foreign, being here, work and live, and how do you see the system working, and if you have any good things to say about our system, and you, Stelios, on doing business here and cooperate with the Cypriot government and the Cypriot professionals, let's say.
Well, yes, there are some loopholes, it's obvious, but working in different environments, we work in Dubai, we work in Malta, we work in England, in many other jurisdictions. There are everywhere issues similar to what we are going through. Definitely I can say that the friendliness and the eagerness of the people in the civil sector, even if there is a huge delay or if there is a problem, you will find that right person to smile at you and accommodate and say, Agathi, Mrs. Agathi, don't worry, there is a solution, let me try to help you. This is something that you don't find somewhere else. I think this is a very, I'm going to say Cypriot, the friendliness of the people. Also, people that they will go too much out of their way in order to help you to achieve what you're trying to do. Again, this is something that we can see in Cyprus.
You do agree with me, though, that the legal system is changing, and since September 2023, you have a huge difference. I mean, yes, we spent many years, in the courts for a hearing or so ever, but nowadays things has been changed. So we need to congratulate the government for doing such an improvement at this point.
I agree with you. There are so many things that are changing, and you have just mentioned something that is very specific in our environment. I agree with you. Though the IT sector that it took some time to get it right, it's there, it's much more faster, and you're absolutely right. We can get a resolution in courts now in Cyprus much faster than before. Yes.
Thank you, Giovannis. Anatoly, what about your opinion?
First of all, regarding our business, we are under SISIC regulation, and actually, for sure, in these changing environments, we see the legal stuff we need to discuss. But at the same time, we feel that regulator is open for discussions, and for us, this is an important thing to ask something to address what we have in our business to regulator directly, and actually each time we have quite clear responses without any, let's say, delays or bureaucracy. So we feel that that government goes with the market. So this is important for us.
Thank you, Anatoly. Which is a very, very enhanced business in Cyprus. I mean, since many years ago, from forex to funds, whatever. So it's very, very important to hear that from a businessman coming from that industry. Stelios, can you please give us
a question?
The question is that, in your experience in the field of real estate, licensing process and everything, would you think that Cyprus is going to the right path of doing business with other?
Of course. Every region, first of all, have different characteristics. For example, if we start with UK, because we always have an operation there, we can see the process to doing business. It's totally different between the professionals. We have a process strict to NDAs, to agreements, not too much to personal relationship between the people, and this is something which is it's okay. But in our countries, as Greece, as Cyprus, we invest a lot in trust. Also in our services as a real estate, the people first trust after they want to proceed in agreements and etc.
Do you find Cypriot people trustworthy?
Yeah, totally.
Good. Good to know. Moving forward, Anatoly, how do you see the role of financial services involving in the collaboration between Cyprus and other jurisdictions? And what regulatory or market shifts do you anticipate in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think during the last decade, I would say, the big shift in financial market is digitalization of everything, the process of onboarding clients, the process of transactions, the process how industries communicate with each other. So first digitalization, and second new type of assets also comes into play. That's why now we have also traditional finance and digital assets. So how this combination will work, this is the challenging part to see.
Thank you, Anatoly. Stelios, what are the current trends in real estate investment between Cyprus, UK, or even Greece, or any other jurisdiction that you do have in mind? Are we seeing shifts in buyers' behavior?
After COVID? Sorry? After COVID, you say?
After, yes.
No, generally.
Yes, generally.
So, I say COVID because it is something very, very important to mention. After the COVID, we check as real estate agents and generally professionals of the real estate. We have a lot of changes in the way of people living. For example, in Greece, 35% of people which work in consulting businesses, in marketing, ITs, they're working from a home hybrid. Okay, 2 times per week, 3 times per week, they're going to the office. But this has changed a lot on the living of the people to their homes. So the developers we see, they change the product. They are more focused to create bigger spaces, bigger balconies, a lot of properties with gardens they selected from potential buyers. So the people they want to be closer to the nature. So a lot of things change in this on this part. Of course, we will check golden visa, for example, in Greece. It's the demand for the golden visa is double before the COVID. Of course, people they want to take a residency to be more flexible if something happened, to come in the other country. Also, the second homes they have a lot of demand. The second homes in islands or basically in Athens, a lot of homes near to the Athena Riviera. So yes, a lot of things changed before the COVID situation. Also, we checked and we mentioned a project which is completely gated. People now they want privacy, and of course they want to live in a places we have a lot of amenities. We live now the developers built a lot of projects with spas, saunas, swimming pools. So people which is have a very good work, they choose these properties.
Thank you, Sergios. Giovannis, shall I address a question to you? What advice would you give to the businesses and professionals looking to establish cross-border collaborations?
Okay, this is 1 year to answer question.
You can answer into, let's say, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Since we are going to have our lunch now, as Savas is paying, we should make it very quickly. Okay, first of all, you need to find the right partner in this, in any jurisdiction. That partner that you need must have a very good understanding, a very clear understanding, must have the experience and the knowledge, deep knowledge in certain sectors. And I'm not only talking about the legalities, I'm talking about the tax, I'm talking about the financials. You need somebody who's going to be trustworthy, as we have just discussed now. At the same time, that team, that person in that location must have the experience of working cross borders. Let's say we are looking for a lawyer in Dubai. We need to have somebody that they have the experience working for people in other destinations like Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, all of these destinations. And they must have experience and also the personnel, and they must have been doing that for a long time. Then you need to find the right jurisdiction. This is why many people are in there choosing Cyprus, because Cyprus is one of the great jurisdictions that have, because we have the English law, we have a favorable tax system, or a tax system that under the British technicalities and law is very similar to everybody else. So you have to combine a lot of things together in order to be able to achieve this collaboration. And definitely you need people that you can see face to face, or people that you have done business, people that you know. As I told you previously, one of our partners in Tailor-Made Solutions are known since 1985. So it shows a lot that you need people that you know, that you have been doing business with.
Thank you, Giovannis. Gentlemen, you do all agree with me that there is existing collaboration between Cyprus, Greece, UK, Russia, and many more jurisdictions. So, do you think that there's going to be a future in these collaborations, a future into business collaboration between Cyprus and other jurisdictions?
For sure, yes. As for our understanding, Cyprus goes to be, let's say, kind of hub, especially for ICT. So ICT do not have any borders in general. So we see yes for sure, especially for EU market plus Swiss, as we are presented also in Swiss market as well. So our answer is yes.
Thank you, Antonio. Stelios, any input on that?
Yes, of course. Cyprus is it's a market, a multinational market. People around the world coming here, so it's great because I represent Greece here today as a professional from real estate, and I'm thinking Greece should take a lot of things from real estate market of Cyprus. Generally, the way he operates between buyers, sellers, developers, all this market, and of course we're trying to do we have a lot of potential to do great things, to bring investors from here to Greece and from Greece here, and we do it with great success till now.
Thank you, Sergios. Vanis, a last statement.
I think that Cyprus ticks a lot of boxes, and I can see a huge future, and we are very positive, and the latest geopolitical situation proves that Cyprus has a chance to be equal even to the United States. We have seen recent events, and credit to the government, positiveness to the government. What I would like to say though is that as Cypriots, we need to learn from our own mistakes. We have to be positive even when there is something negative, and try to learn from all these situations, and try to excel and leave behind the negativity and be the change that we want to impose to everybody else.
Thank you. I would like just to make a small statement. Based on what we have discussed now, to the opinion that collaboration is not just beneficial, it is essential. Do you agree with me? Thank you.
Definitely.
Savas, can I ask if there is any questions from later? Okay. Thank you for your time. Allow Stelios now to have a small presentation on his company. Thank you.
But just be patient for a little bit. So, just a welcome to the world of quality properties. Our motto is Gbcy, the brand. So, quality homes is something which expresses us, and we work with that during our years and through this market. I will be shortly. So, above the 30 years of experience in the real estate sector and construction, obviously. We guide it from the international market because we want to expand our product and our network also outside from the Greece and Cyprus. We set all our requirements for our clients based in international requirements, because we want the easiest way somebody would want to approach a property, or somebody would want to buy a property, or he want to sell something. So we're based in Athens, and from there we expand around the world, in Dubai, in London. Mainly we focused in Greece, Spain, Montenegro, London, Dubai. Our portfolio is around 6 billion for sale. I should mention that. We have our collaboration direct with owners and the developers. Something is very important to mention that, because they have here a lot of people from institutionals with looking for direct investment. So yeah, we have it directed. And our strategy for this year is to expand by 30% our portfolio around the world, not only in Greece and Cyprus. Yeah. So this is the time frame from us, from 1992 to 22 and going forward. Of course, everybody will take this presentation and you can study. And we have a network all these years above 700 people in a lot of sectors, not only the real estate. We have plus 10,000 properties managed as consultants in real estate, as property management, as construction, in all the sector services of real estate. And this is the services which provide investment property consulting, property portfolio creation, private market research for investors, institutionals, and also individuals, real estate appraisals, valuation of real estate assets, not only in Greece but in the other countries also, negotiation services, and of course construction consultancy, which is something we did it very, very, very well. This is from me. And the last I can mention is about the investment packages which created from us. Here we will see we have the preserve, the wealth, and the diverse. We created for clients, individuals and also institutionals, and we focused for the stable, valuable properties, as you will see in the reserve. We can match it to the properties in London, Athens, Crete, Dubai, and Cyprus, of course. And the wealth we can approach higher yields from 6 to 9, and of course the locations we can change it. It's not only this we're gonna mention, but we have a lot of other locations which can match these portfolios. All the yields which provide, it's guaranteed from each developer and the operator, and it's very, very qualified investments. This is from me. You have any? Okay, thank you.
Agati and gentlemen, thank you. Before we all disappear to our business lunch networking, let's give a couple of more minutes to our minister for closing remarks. Just a couple of minutes. Mr. George?
It's just a comment which I felt that I should be giving to the audience here. It's coming from the presentation of Savas, and not this Savas, the younger Savas, which I would like to thank him for the feedback that he provided. However, I need to make a comment that we never said that the glass, when we are looking at the glass, we never said that in Cyprus we provide a full of advantages glass. The glass could be half full, and this is what I presented earlier. And there is a piece of the glass which is half empty perhaps. And this is where we're working on in order to make progress and in order to change things for Cyprus. At Cyprus, and if you combine its strengths and compare rather the strengths and the areas of development, the strengths, they supersede by far the areas of development. Thank you, Savas, for providing us with the half-empty glass. We will insist in promoting Cyprus with the half-full glass, and we will be, whilst we will be working in order to provide solutions for the half-empty glass. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Papanastasiou, for your closing remarks. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for your participation and engagement throughout the day. It has been an enriching experience to hear from such distinguished speakers and experts. Now, it's time to enjoy the business networking lunch. We encourage you to take this opportunity to connect, collaborate, and explore potential investment opportunities between the UK and Cyprus. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you to our future events.